dear friend of mine. She's a very dear friend and family member of people in the church. But what she does is just amazing. She is our WMU group, and she comes at all different attire. So, without further ado, we're going to sing I Can Pray, and then our guest speaker from a biblical day will be preaching our service tonight.
Y'all go on. I'll catch up with you later. Hello. You're new here, aren't you? Welcome to Sychar. I'm sure you're going to find a very good group of people here that are loving and welcoming, but it was not always this way. Let me tell you how it started, and it all started with me. You see, many years ago, you would not have seen me coming with other women to the well to get water. I was what you might say, an outcast. I'd made several bad decisions in my life, and for that reason, I was shunned. When I would go out into the public with other women and try to be a part of their group, they talked about me. They didn't want to have anything to do with me. They whispered behind my back. I finally got tired of feeling that way, so I decided that I would come to the well when no one else was there. All the other women came in the morning when it was cool and laughed and talked together and had a friendship. But I chose to come when it was deserted, when there was no one there. So I came at noon, even though the heat was terrible. Well, one day as normal, I came out. It was time, we were thirsty. I knew no one would be there, so I traveled to the well. I started up the hill, and the closer I got, I realized there was someone there. What was I going to do? I didn't know. I didn't want to be around people, but we had to have water. It wasn't going to get any cooler. So I just said, well, I'll just go on. So I carried my vessel and I went up the hill, and the closer I got, I realized it was a man sitting there. And not just any man, it was a Jew. And not just any Jew, it was a rabbi. Well, I had a problem then. I thought, well, what will I do now? And what is he doing here? He's a Jew. This is Samaria. They don't come around us. We are half-breeds. They don't want anything to do with us. So I made a decision I would just go to the other side of the well and get my water as quickly as I could, and then I would be gone, and that would be the end of it. So I approached the well, and I go around to the other side, and I lean down to get ready to dip, and he speaks to me. And he says, "Give me a drink." Well, I was so shocked. I said, "Why are you, a Jew, speaking to me, a Samaritan woman?" He said, "If you knew who it was that asked you for a drink and the gift that he could give, you would ask of him, and he would give you to drink." I said, "How will you get water from the well? You have nothing to draw with, and this well is deep. Are you better than our father Jacob that dug this well, and he and his family, his livestock, drank from it?" He said, "The water that I have to give is living water, and if you drink from this water, you will never thirst again." Well, if I don't have to be thirsty and come to this well in the heat of the day anymore, that sounded like a good idea. So I said, "Give me of this water, that I may drink and never have to come here again." And he said to me, "Go call your husband and come back." And I said, "I have no husband." And then he said, "You have spoken correctly, for you have been married 5 times, and the man you are with now is not your husband." Well, now, how would he know this? He's at the well by himself. There's nobody else there. The Jews certainly don't communicate with Samaritans, so how could he possibly know this? This made me very, very uncomfortable. This is not something I wanted to talk about. Certainly not with him. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. I changed the subject. I said, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. And we have worshipped here always on this mountain, but you Jews say that we must go to Jerusalem to worship." And he said to me, "I say to you, the day is coming when you will not worship on this mountain anymore, but you will worship God in spirit and truth, for God is spirit." I wasn't sure how to take that, so I said to him, "Sir, I know that when Jesus comes, the Christ, the Messiah, he will explain everything to us." And then he said the most amazing words to me. He said, I that am speaking to you am he. I stood there for a minute. What is he telling me? I was just a little confused. This man sitting at the well in the middle of the day, but he did know about my past, which, how would he have known? He is a Jew, he is a rabbi. And it dawned on me, this man is this Messiah. I was so excited, I left my water, I lifted my skirts, and I ran as fast as I could till I got back to the village, and I burst into the tavern where the men were resting. You know, in the middle of the day when it's hot, they go gather and talk till it cools off and they can go back to work. And I burst in, and I was out of breath, and I had to sit there just a minute and get my breath back. And they looked at me. Now, I'm quite sure some of them were thinking, oh, great, she's looking for another husband. But when I got my breath and was able to speak, I said to them, come with me and meet a man who told me everything that I had ever done. Could he be the Messiah? Well, they're shocked that I'm there and that I'm talking about the Messiah. But the fact that I told them he told me everything I had ever done, when you have a history as extensive as mine, that kind of gets their attention. So they came with me. We went up the hill, and by the time we got back, the disciples were there with Jesus. They began to talk with him, and he began to communicate with them and share with them and love on them. And they said, come and go with us. Let's get out of the heat. Let's go down here and have refreshment. And we talked, and they talked. And it came evening. And they said, stay with us, Lord. Stay with us, teacher. Stay with us. He stayed 2 days. And because of him, many people accepted that he was the Messiah, and their lives were changed. My life was changed forever. I told my friend, I do not need you to be with me anymore. This is not right. I want to do the right thing. And you know, because of the love of God spreading in these women, they accepted me. I get to go with him to the well now. I don't have to go in the heat of the day anymore. It is amazing. All because Jesus came to town. Well, I didn't mean to keep you. I've rattled on far too long. I know you have things to do. They're waiting on me to come and get the water. I have to be going now. I do hope you enjoy your visit here. You know, Jesus was right. When it comes to being loved, accepted, and forgiven, I'm not thirsty anymore. Are you? Come to the well. We have been doing the studies by Shannon Bream, and this part came from the first book that we did in our WMU group, The Women of the Bible Speak. I encourage each of you, if you have not read the book, please get the book and read it. Her spiritual insights are amazing. You know, Jesus chose to reveal himself and who he really was for the first time to an outcast, sinful, half-breed woman that nobody wanted to have anything to do with. He declared that he was Christ the very first time. And she was able to run and tell others because he knew what she was going to do and invite them to come and meet the Jesus, the Messiah. He did not ask her to clean her life up. He didn't say, you got to get rid of your trashy boyfriend first before you do this. He met her at her need as she was, and he met me at my need as I was. This is a great book. I thank Sibi for believing in me, the ladies from my WMU group for allowing me to do this, and I thank Shannon Bream for making an awesome book. Thank you.
lead me to Calvary. All right, let's stand. Wednesday night is coming on the mound, okay? And then make sure you pray for all of those youth that will be sharing some of the testimonies. It's at 6 o'clock. It's at 6 o'clock, not today. Bring you from one closet, it's going to be cold and it's dead. But yes, that will, sometimes that's difficult for some of them, and some of them are really stepping out on the mound, literally, and sharing things, they're very personal. So please pray for them, pray for our services, for the coming up weekend, anything else? Food packing tomorrow. Food distribution is tomorrow. 1 to 3.